Whoa!
The Bright Side, a Gold Digger Talk with Jacqueline Andrea.
Hi, Anabel. Welcome to The Bright Side.
I'm so happy to be here.
Long story short, what's your story?
My story is that I am a singer, translator, and a survivor of domestic violence and sexual abuse. I was 19 years old and very much in love and was taking the world by the horns. I was a music major and I met the president of the Student Organization of Latinos, and I thought I had met the love of my life. Of course, I thought I wanted to be with him, and I gave up my music and my education to get married and start a life with him. By giving up my dreams, he started to control me and I started to suffer domestic violence. He would yell at me, he would control me, he would threaten to hit me, he would control my money. I gained a lot of weight as a result, and I just didn't love myself. It came to the point to where he was having affairs. He got really brave one day and he threatened to kill me. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I can choose to die in the marriage or die at least trying to get out. So I made the decision to try to get out. And I'm one of the lucky ones that survived.
What made you say enough?
I think when he truly believed that he had enough power over me to decide whether or not I lived or died. And I decided, no, I decide. I have value. I have something to offer. Why do you get to decide? And that's where I had it. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die, but at least I die on my terms.
Did you have any angels, people that supported you during those hard times?
Wow, I think looking back, they were angels. I did feel very alone. I moved away on my own, and my family, because of the domestic violence, I had already become isolated. But when I moved to Huntington Beach by myself, there were friends that brought me food, friends that I met there. Like one of my neighbors, when I would get really sick, she would cook me food and she would come and bring the food downstairs to my apartment. She was one of the people that I leaned on the most and I'm most grateful for.
How do you feel when you look back?
I am so proud of myself. I'm proud because I had the guts to leave, and proud because I stuck through it, and proud because I've learned so much from it and have been able to help others get out with what I've learned.
Now you have your own translation business.
Yes.
What was that one thing that moved you to start your own business?
I think my translations business story is really interesting, at least it is to me. You asked about angels. This came along when my father was really sick and he actually fell into a coma. And I needed to be able to travel back and forth from where I was living from San Francisco to Las Vegas. And just out of the blue, my now ex-husband's boss said, hey, we need someone to translate stuff for us. Do you know anyone? He said, oh, well, Anabel, she speaks Spanish. So it started there. And I started taking on those projects, and the more I took on, the more I realized I could leave my job so I could take care of my father and help out here in Las Vegas.
Can you say this is your dream job?
I don't know if I have a dream job. I can say this is my dream life. I love what I do. I help people, but I don't believe in a dream job anymore because I think that it's your job just to be happy in whatever you do, and that's what I am. I enjoy what I do. Do I have other goals? Yeah, but I'm living my dream life.
What inspires you?
Well, the person conducting these interviews inspires me. She was one of the first people I met here in Vegas, Jackie. What inspires me is people who, no matter what they're going through, help others. Those people show a resilience and a value of life that I really respect and admire.
What has been your best and worst moment?
Ooh, career-wise, I had my best moment, I would say it was about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, where I got asked to be the official interpreter for presidential candidates. That was a whole different level, and I'd always wanted to do something like that. I just didn't know how to get into that, and just through networking and hard work, it came to me. And it was an incredible experience to be in that environment and that level of politics and media and high pressure. And I think I did great.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
In 10 years, I see myself working in an ensemble show, singing. But I want to do an ensemble show, a cast show that really makes a difference with positive messages for Latin females specifically, because I really see a need for representation. And the further along I get in my career, the more I see that when you see someone that looks like you doing it, it lights a fire inside of you.
What's the biggest challenge that someone in your business will face?
The biggest challenge, I think, as an interpreter is when you have to interpret for a case that is against your beliefs, where you have to interpret for a person that has done something horrible, and your job is to communicate their point of view. Specifically, I can tell you criminal cases are very difficult because as an interpreter, most of the time you're on the side of the accused. And so I can tell you in my case, one of the most difficult cases for me was a man accused of raping a young girl. And my task was to convey his message. As an interpreter, you have to be able to become everything, even a criminal. You have to be able to understand their mind and be able to convey their message accurately and honestly, even if it doesn't sit well with you.
What sets your heart on fire?
That's easy. Singing, music, and yeah, music.
Who is your role model?
There's so many wonderful people around me. But I will tell you that lately, and you're going to think that I'm just making this up because you're interviewing me, but Jackie, I think a lot, how would Jackie handle this? Because I have a tendency, and maybe because I'm getting older, to get really hot-headed. And I remember Jackie, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, taught me about handling things in a ladylike manner. Still getting your point across, telling someone to go to hell, but in such a ladylike way that they'll be happy going there. And I'm really, really trying to master that skill.
Now, think of a famous person, and if you have the opportunity to go out with him or her, what would be the first thing you ask?
One of my goals is to hang out with Kate del Castillo, and I'm going to make it happen. After I saw the documentary for when she met El Chapo, the head of the cartel, what I would ask her is, how does she develop the courage to reach out to people that are controversial and go through with what she believes her mission is, despite everyone telling her not to do it or that it shouldn't be done? Because it's one thing when people tell you that it can't be done. It's something else when people are completely against it. But she knew very well in her head that that's something that she had to do, and she did it anyway, and she suffered incredible consequences, but she stands by it, and she's been able to continue to be successful. That's what I would ask.
How do you feel about social media?
Oh my goodness. I don't like it. I think it's deteriorating human connection. I use it for my business, and I take a lot of marketing classes. So I've learned how you can manipulate people through it, but I don't enjoy it. I find that if I'm on it a lot, I get FOMO, I get fear of missing out, I get sad, and I have to go on social media fast, reconnect directly with friends that I love, and hear the full depth of what's going on with them, not just the happy highlight reels that I'm seeing on social media.
Do you think you have haters?
Oh, I know I have haters. I don't think, I know. I know I do. They've reached out to me. They've told me through social media or to my face. And what I've learned is that the more successful you get, that's a byproduct of it. And if you have that, then you're doing something right. I think if you don't have haters, you don't have clear defined values and stances on things, so you're trying to please everyone.
What would you do if life gave you lemons?
I've already had that, so you enjoy them. That's it.
What is that phrase that identifies you?
It's funny, I've been using it a lot lately, and I don't know if I should say it in Spanish or in English, but it says, "Don't lower your head, queen, because your crown will fall."
How do you say that in Spanish?
No agache la cabeza, mi reina, porque se le cae la corona.
Can you say your name backwards?
Levana. Levana.
Wow.
I'm a linguist.
I know you sing. Can you sing your favorite song?
One favorite song? Sé que aún me queda una oportunidad. Sé que aún no es tarde para recapacitar.
What do you feel when you sing?
My heart literally swells.
What is your most memorable moment as a singer?
Professionally, for me, I can tell you that I got to sing as a soloist in the House of Blues with a Grammy-nominated mariachi. And for the first time in my life, and this is very recently, I got on the stage and I wasn't nervous. It was this incredible sense of peace. And we were all just working together to bring this incredible experience to the crowd. And all of the musicians, we were all just very in sync, and the crowd responded. And I'm talking about a large crowd. It was a packed house. It's a 2-story venue. And to look out into the audience and see people swaying with you and feeling the same thing that you're feeling, there's nothing quite like it. And there's really no other way that I can think of to match that.
Think outside the box.
Okay.
You've been given an elephant. You can't give it away or sell it. What would you do with that elephant?
I can't give it away or sell it? Oh my goodness. Well, I would dress it up and make it part of my act. Would teacher probably like to play an instrument or something? And when you have those moments in the song where you don't know what to do, I'd be like, and here's, I don't know, Betty the elephant playing the trumpet solo.
The object. It is a phone tripod and you can use it as a selfie stick. But now, how else can you use this for? Be creative.
Gosh,
Flex your imagination.
no idea. Maybe like a doorstop? Yeah, like if I really needed to, I could put a cloth over it and use it as an umbrella to hold stuff up. I think I've actually seen that done.
When you're having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better?
I'm one of those people that wakes up with anxiety. So a really good tool that I've started to use very, very recently is to just stand up and open up your chest and look up. And something about that tells your body that you're okay. And immediately my mood changes.
They are making a movie about you. Who will play Anabel in that movie?
Right now, if I could choose, it would be Salma Hayek. She's just so, and then she has the boobs.
What would you tell young Anabel if you could?
Oh my gosh. your gifts, everything that you're getting yelled at for and people are intimidated by, those gifts are your strengths. Keep them.
Anabel, what is the bright side?
Oh my God, there's so many bright sides. I mean, I've been through domestic violence. I've been raped. I suffered the loss of my father when I was going through the domestic violence. My goodness, I had 7 surgeries in 7 years. I think last year was the first year without a surgery. And one of those surgeries, my organs were failing and I was living alone and I had no family around me and I was in ICU by myself. So the benefit of going through all of those things, especially and specifically the health issues, the surgeries when I was living by myself, has taught me that I'm incredibly resilient. There is nothing that you could tell me now. I really don't think there's anything you could tell me where I would be afraid, because I have faced death so many times in so many different ways that although a challenge might make me step back for a little bit, I will always come back with a vengeance. I'm like, I'm gonna not just work on this, I'm gonna attack this. And I think that's the bright side. I think you learn that you can go through so much and you can make it through so much and that the pain is temporary. So I think the motto that has been coming up for me lately has been, this too shall pass. It's going to pass. You decide how you live through that. You can choose to be miserable and sad and feel sorry for yourself, or you can choose to reach out, surround yourself with great people, and let them be part of that journey with you.
Thank you, Anabel, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. Next week on The Bright Side, Jennifer Poveda. Nuestro primer programa en español.